Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. We're back on the dev server, and it's time to have a look at the Leopard 2A4M. This is a Canadian Leopard, which is coming in. It's the premium that's going to be at 11.3 for Germany. Now, each nation is going to have an 11.3, it seems like. The US has the clickbait, the USSR has the TAD-UE1, which seems to be coming in. Obviously, Britain has stuff like the Challenger 2 OES, and I'm sure everybody else will get something similar. This is the German variant, and it is a modified Leopard 2A4. Basically, they took a Leopard 2A4 and added a ton of different stuff to it, improved the FCS, improved the armor up to a better standard. Now understand, in the game right now, on the dev server, a lot of those things aren't there yet. So, for example, this one has the same night vision suite as the Leopard 2A4. So it has the Gen 1 thermals on the gunner and the standard night vision for the commander. Now, I'm pretty sure, since it's an 11.3 vehicle and also supposed to have upgraded FCS, there is no way that this thing is going to stay like that. It will probably have better generation of thermals than that, and also it for the commander. The other parts of it, as well as the armor. The armor is also not there when it comes to the vehicle either. It has the standard 2A4 armor, which you see here, and then the additional armor that it has on it is a 100mm composite screen on both of the sides to protect it from chemical protection. It does technically have a bit of additional armor as well on the bottom, but nothing too crazy that is around the place. It does have some slat armor on the back too, but once again, not modeled yet, so will not provide really any protection until it's done. So just understand, this vehicle is not finished, and if it gets updated in the future, we will make sure to have a look at it before it gets released. Also, if you want to get this vehicle, make sure to use my partner link so you can get a discount in order to get access to it. The vehicle is a rank 7, so it will be able to research the full German tech tree. There's nothing that this will not 100% efficiently research, and it is the same BR as the Leo 2PL, which is at rank 8, which is quite funny. The reason why this vehicle is not 11.7, by the way, is because of its round. That's pretty much it. Instead of giving it the DM53, this vehicle has the KEW. Now, the KEW is a round which is found on the M1A1 AIM. It's also found on the other vehicles, such as the M60 AMBT for the Americans. This is the first time it's been there for Germany, and the best way of putting it is it's slightly better than the DM43 and slightly worse than the DM53. Just to give you kind of an example, the Leopard 2A5 fires the DM53 nowadays at the 11.7 BR. So it has penetration up to 360mm at 60 degrees at 10 meters, whereas the 2A4M with the KW will have 337mm of pen at 10 meters at 60 degrees. But then if you have a look at the Leopard 2PL, which is the same BR as it gets the DM43, which has 310mm of penetration at 10 meters at 60 degrees. So that's the difference between the vehicles. Basically that. The other thing is weight. If you have a look at the 2A4M, it is 61.8 tons. The 2A5 is 59.5 tons. So the 2A4M does technically have additional armor on it, but a lot of it is chemical protection. The cool thing about this is you can actually take off that chemical protection, unlike a lot of other vehicles that have to have it on. So you can see here, we've removed the mine protection on the bottom, and also we've removed the additional slat armor on the back. That leaves this composite screen and also additional armor on the front, which the 2A5 is different. So now it's down to 57.9 tons, which is very similar to the 2A5. It's actually lighter than the 2A5, hilariously. So this vehicle will technically be more mobile than the 2A5 at 11.7. The other thing you can also do, if you want to, is you can take off the camouflage net. So you can just have a basic camouflage for this vehicle, which is quite cool to see too. But I think the camouflage net gives it a little bit more pizzazz. But it does have the Canadian emblem on it, and also the division markings and all of that good stuff. So if you're more interested in that, you can do. Right now its camouflages aren't ready, so I'm guessing in the future it will have them. But right now, you know, you are stuck with this, which still looks really nice. So yeah, that is something to have a look at and to think about. Right now, even with the additional armor off, it is actually lighter than some of the other, you know, German MBTs that are around. And if you want to compare it to the 2A7V, this thing is 66.5 tons at 11.7. It does have, you know, some spore liner and additional armor, but that kind of gives you the general mobility of this. This mobility of this vehicle will be no different than all of the other 2As that exist. So you have, you know, the good transmission, which will mean you'll be able to go forward and backwards at a good rate. You have the 1500 power diesel engine. You have the blowout panels in the back. You also have a hydraulic pump. I don't really know how this is going to work or what it's attached to. Don't know if it's for the elevation or what, but they've started to add new kind of stuff in the models to, if they get hurt, this will kind of affect how your vehicle plays, but you just have to repair them and it'll be fine. The vehicle is the L44 cannon, so not the L55, so the shorter barreled one, so not the 2A6 or the 2A7, but the 2A5 gun or the 2A4 gun, and obviously has access to some quite nice rounds too. The blowout panel with 15 rounds means that you can take 16 rounds, one in the turret or one in the gun breech, and then 15 back here, and you won't have to worry about this ammunition down here. It also has these exterior fuel tanks that if they get hit, you don't have to waste a FPE on, which is really nice too. So that gives it a bit of an additional thing. It does have the laser rangefinder too, which is kind of cool as well. And also has other rounds, but as we've talked about, you don't really have to use them. It doesn't get the one round that some of these vehicles get, which kind of sucks, the DM11, but the DM11 is, once again, not really useful in a ton of scenarios, apart from the fact that helicopters, which is stationary, with the laser rangefinder, you can pop them, but that doesn't really happen too much at these BRs. It has the standard reload for the 120mm, and everything else about it is standard, including the smoke grenades, which you can see back here in these setups. So this vehicle is looking pretty good. It's basically an 11.7 masquerading as an 11.3 because they decided to give it a round which isn't as good as the other one, but it's better than the standard 11.3 round. They have given this thing the most help it can get to be competent at 11.3, and as I said, it only has standard Gen 1 thermals, but don't worry, that will surely change going forward. If you haven't played the Leopards, you must understand that these vehicles are incredibly fun to play. They are great in general to move around the place and be able to fly around, which is fantastic. You don't have any 50 cals, just standard 792s, but you do have good mobility. You do have a great stabilizer on the gun, and also, as we talked about, you do have the smoke grenades to keep you alive and to move around. I don't know whether this thing is going to get any extra kind of, I suppose, any extra mechanics compared to the standard stuff. I think it's going to be pretty simple compared to the rest. But right now, it's looking great. And if you're looking to get this, of course, you'll be able to run it pretty well at 11.3, but at the same time, you'll be able to use it as a pretty good 11.7 vehicle as a backup, probably not as a primary. Right now, for Germany, there's a lot of vehicles at 11.7, and the difference between them is pretty huge. So I would wait until there's a little bit more there's a little bit more BR decompression, so this thing, you know, is not on the lower end of 11.7, instead on the higher end of 11.3. As always, though, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Hopefully we get some Canadian voices. That'd be kind of cool.
I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.